please at any time feel free to stop me, ask me any questions. If you have any further clarifications you need, I'm happy to answer. All right, so yeah, as far as our interviews, stavan, all things design, website, whatever you use, you probably touch my hands a little bit.
Probably tired of seeing me. Hello, it's Dr. Ando. So greetings in real life.
All right, so welcome to DMW. What is it? DMW is design, marketing, and writing. We believe these are some of the key ingredients to tell your story out to the world. And being a little bit better at this will help you communicate better with your users and potential future users, whatever it is that you're doing. It does not matter if you're a musician, if you're building gardens, if you're building apps, clothing brand, whatever. Just being better at this will help you tell your story with greater clarity. So yeah, what is design? Design is not just what it looks and feels like, it is how it works. Does anyone know where this comes from? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, yeah. So very simply, the best designs are useful, usable, and beautiful. And this very simple pyramid that you can take a look at, where you always want, whenever you're creating anything, you want to start by creating something that is useful. Only then you should kind of figure out how to make it usable. And only after that you should really spend time making it usable. So a lot of times you see Pinterest, Dribble, Instagram, it's like the opposite way. So you think designs are hella pretty, so you can spend a lot of time doing that. But what you'll end up doing is creating extremely beautiful designs that no one uses, and it's not useful to anyone. So I urge you not to do that actually, and start with creating useful stuff, making it usable, and then spending time to like iron out all the little things before it hits a very large percentage of it. I'm going to talk very quickly about tools. A lot of you spend a lot of time figuring out what tools to use. And my model here is tools are great, but only if they push you forward. A lot of times you should not spend any time obsessing over what tools to use. Right? So should I use Figma or Framework or Wix? Should I set me on Vector or Wix? Of course, I mean, just do whatever will get you there the fastest. And choose as little time as doing those things as you are picking up pencil or pen to write. It's that simple. You can always switch and evolve whatever tool you're using, and there's always a tool that makes your life a little bit easier down the road. So at that point, they can evaluate whether it's worthwhile for you to move to something that's a little bit better for you.
Wait, what do you think is the most common tool we use in company?
For me, it would be probably Trigger.
Yeah, but
Figma, we use Figma a lot.
yeah. Or like even more basic, I'll say Apple Notes.
Apple Notes.
Yeah, Apple Notes.
Pen and paper oftentimes, very things, sometimes that we just want to, even with the Final 32 bracket, a lot of times we just like write down the names of the position that's in front of them. Not spend too much time figuring out, all right, what's the best bracket software out there. All right, let's go. So yeah, start with one you're comfortable with, ideally one you already know how to use. For example, we did tribes a while back at buildspace, like we wanted to have like all these different projects and things like that. We no longer do that, obviously. But this is how I showed it to the team in Mexico when we were on our offsite. I quickly just drew it out, like this is my vision for it. And what do you guys think? Just quick vibe checks on whether something like this would make sense. And rather than going and spending a lot of time in Figma, coming up with a pretty UI or why, quick and nerdy, yeah or nay. And once we decided on it, obviously you can keep increasing the level of fidelity. But the reason why I say this is because in that pursuit, when you're chasing the perfect wireframe or mock-up or perfect song, you overcomplicate so many things, and unknowingly you're creating and paralyzing yourself by creating these unscalable mountains in your head. A lot of you, this is like the third lecture you're hearing today after Khan and Nessa. We all talk about mountains a lot, and we just want to make it so that you don't create these Everests that you cannot yourself scale. So make it really easy for you to have these small hills that you have, like these challenges and puzzles that you're solving, and figure out ways to solve it creatively using the tools you already know. And once you have some feedback, you can improve it. So for example, this was the next version of that. I used a free tool called Excalibur. We're not sponsored, maybe we should be. And just again, very quickly, 30 minutes, I created this, showed it to the team with some very simple and user tools on the right, and got to go ahead, and I then really focused on getting it ready for production. And I don't know if anyone used this when it came out. I think you guys are all post projects, but anyone remember this? There you go. We got a few people that use this, so we wanted to kind of have company profiles and builder profiles so that anyone and everyone can connect.
He was demo day number 1. He was demo day number 1.
Welcome back. Any questions about this? I know this is software.
Let's look at the design before it's implemented. So that's sort of the assumption that people can read that kind of notation diagram and make sense of it.
Yeah, I'm
something that people are using.
Yes, and I'm right there as well. So if they have any questions, they could just ask me. We want to shorten that feedback cycle as much as possible and not read too much on essentially local hosts to try to kind of like get feedback on your release. And you can incorporate this in whatever it is you're doing. You know, even if you have a quick mock-up or wireframe, you can post it on Twitter and you know, I'm building this. Does anyone have any thoughts for feedback? Even if no one responds, at least you try it out.
All of you participate in most of the season 4 online lectures. Do you remember the example of Taylor Swift's just her little voice memo? Like, if you haven't seen that, just go back and dig up all of the artists. Like, they have some really low fidelity stuff that they just like quickly ship to their friends and get a vibe check.
All right, I'm going to walk through design fundamentals in 5 minutes. So I have a very simple model. I call it the CHAPS model. What does that mean? The first C stands for color and contrast. Whenever you're creating design, you want to at least make sure people can read it. There's like good use of color and contrast. So I'll give you some examples. What do you guys think about this? Why is it that? Contrast, the colors don't really supplement each other. What about this?
Yes. That's what yes, right? Yes.
Is it better? Yeah. I think it's okay. I think we can still improve the contrast. The colors are okay though. Like blue and yellow go really well together. We've used a very dark shade of yellow, so we can kind of clean it up even a little bit. And just the color and contrast. As long as you have that as your check mark, you can like really kind of like start experimenting and that kind of like changing the hues of the colors as well. You can kind of create things that actually like are very legible to read. And you can kind of create something that sticks to your brand. But at the very least, you'll be extremely sure that people are going to be fucking able to read it. Because in here, I don't know. I just move past. All right, so that's the first. H, hierarchy. This essentially is, if you just do a quick exercise on the screen, there's no order or hierarchy. What do you want them to read first, right? And there's very simple ways to fix this. Read first. Essentially, the main thing on your website is make it extremely obvious for people. You know, read this first. If you don't read anything else on the page, you're still getting your point across by just making it extremely easy for them to read.
Can I pipe in? I know we're going to talk about writing a little bit, but I just realized this. You can apply contrast and also hierarchy when you're composing something like a tweet. The contrast would be if you have all of your text in a chunky thing, there's no contrast to show what's going to stand out. And then when you read the tweets, also look at how you read the tweet, right? You're probably going to read first and then the video first before the video. So the hierarchy also applies when you're like composing it on social.
All right, alignment. Please align your shit together. A lot of times, like, just pick a side, right? If you want to centralize everything, all right, we're going to centralize that. Because it guides the viewer's eye, and this applies, I know we're using this as an example, but everything here also applies, even if you're creating a thumbnail for YouTube, or you're creating a Twitter post with an image, or you're creating a music album that needs to cover on. A lot of these principles are very continuous. So, just align stuff, that's the perk. Whether you want to centralize it or left align. T is for typography. This is like more applicable, I guess, to like web design or graphic design. Like you want to like stick to a few fonts rather than just put whatever comes at you. Very simple here. We use 3 different fonts. they don't work well together, and all of you here have the compass to tell me that, this sucks, this is not it, right? So it's like, use that compass even for yourself and your community. Because you're all consumers, and you all have consumed so many things that are good and same. So I would wager that all of you have pretty good things. Just try to apply the things you're doing, whatever you're doing. Also a bad example. But yeah, ideally you want to stick to one or two points that's consistent across all of the things you're doing, so that people can kind of like start associating those things with you. Sometimes we kind of see some posts. I think there was a pizza post not so long ago on Twitter, and so many people on the comment, this is a buildspace slide. Their slides are so iconic now, and then kind of like seeing the black and white with the same handle, so everyone kind of realize, is that it? All right, spacing. Just give your things the space to breathe and be consistent with it. A lot of you, so again, this is the color contrast, hierarchy, alignment, typography. The only thing fucked up with this one is the spacing. The header has this crazy space right here, which you can quickly just avoid by grouping the important things together and giving things ample of spacing between them, so you can read it without really having too much strain in terms of comprehension and processing. So, yeah, two things to take a look at here: line spacing and letter spacing, leading and kerning. Those fancy words made up by designers. So yeah, just remember line spacing and letter spacing. All right, and finally, a few more examples I'm going to go fast. Really consistent across. And we'll have evolutions of our design, but even among all of the houses, the colors, the spacing, the typography, everything is very consistent. So you want to, if you're trying to build brand affinity over a longer period of time, you want to make sure that when people see your stuff, that they know it's yours. So yeah, these are the assets a lot of you guys got when you got it. Thanks for each guys. But yeah, if you notice, all of them, even though they're different, they're very consistent. Questions here? Cool. All right, some tips. Again, reiterate, do not fall in love with the tool that you're falling in love with the pencil. The second one is, please be hyper-cognizant of who is it that you're actually building for. Who can tell me what the screenshot is from, or which app? So everyone will know that, this is from Netflix. And it's pretty simple and consistent to the audience that's going to use Netflix. If you came across this app, which is HTV from China, you'll be like, why is so much shit happening on this screen? Right? But if a Chinese person saw this, it's like, why is so little shit happening? Right? So that's the whole point. The thing with China is like especially the newer generation, they're so used to extremely deeply integrated microtransactions that so many things here, they're just like a second nature, right? Like for example, if YouTube gave us an option to get Dolby Atmos on a video for 3 cents more, we'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Right? That's very common practice in China, where you can have these new interactions unlocked by these extremely deeply tied in micro interactions. Like for example, we buy a book on Amazon Kindle or whatever, in its entirety in China, you can get 60% or 70% of it for free, and then you can pay per 1,000 words if you want any reading. It ends up costing. So many times we start close if we never end up finishing it. So they were like, okay, let's get more people to read. 1 cent for 1,000 words or something. You get the point. So know your audience, know what you're looking for, and create. That's your unique insight that you can integrate into whatever it is you're building, and that's going to help you stand out. So yeah, the next thing is, do not aim for perfection, aim for iteration. There was a very simple semester study, forget the university, the professor was pretty much like, it was a photography class, and they're like, one group, he split up the board into 2 sections. One group, all they had to do was take 1 photo the entire semester to get an A. The other one had to take 100 photos the entire semester. And if it was just fun, if you do all 100, you get an A. If Steven must want you. Which group do you think did better and took better photos of school? Right, so it's like very simple. Even though all the other group had to do was take one photo that was really fucking good throughout the entire semester, they just didn't put it in the reps. So put in the reps, all of you. Whether you're creating music, just try to create, and I think it's Joey Yang here. He's making music, he's publishing a song on TikTok every single week. And right now he may have 5 or 10 or 15 people look at it. Ultimately, that's gonna like over into something that we may not even be able to comprehend. Similarly to what happens with people, if anyone remember these people. Yes. So people just, well, I was 13,000 days just published in art on Instagram, and then now it's a common day. Actually holds the record for the highest sale internet NFTs used in a collage of all 13,000 days. It's essentially showing that you're just putting that to get it done. All right, so again, we're going to jump into storytelling, which is kind of like part of marketing and writing. And pretty straightforward. We want to keep things really simple. We want to try to make people feel a certain way as they're kind of like reading and consuming writing, or whether they're interacting with data you know, and finally try to be as authentic as possible, not over-promise and under-deliver, rather than try to do the opposite. So, should we talk about transformations?
Yeah, so, I mean, if you've been here the last 2 sessions, probably like this guy's talking about this again, but you probably hear about this idea of storytelling all the time. Also, how many of you are actively on Twitter? You know how they're like, there's always that guy that's like, storytelling is the most important skill an entrepreneur can have. It's like, I've seen like hundreds of these posts. It's the same post by different people, but can somebody tell me what a story is? Give me the simplest definition. Sequence of events, okay? Yes. Okay. Yes.
Something that you can connect to.
Okay. Let me simplify this. Now, the story can be very deep, but how many of you are Harry Potter fans? Okay. I mean, how many of you know the story Harry Potter? Almost everybody knows, right? No matter if you're talking about Harry Potter or if you're trying to sell a product, it's actually the same. Stories have a beginning and an end, and the character goes through a transformation. How you tell the transformation, that's where the creativity comes in. But almost every story, from Odyssey all the way until Harry Potter, that's the same structure. And then we're going to talk about like how you can tell the story, but the transformation part is how you help people transform.
For example, my photos look like trash, and Samsung comes out with this masterpiece, 108 megapixels. In your pocket. Who fucks with this? Why?
My phone is 4 years old, it's probably like 20 megapixels, 5x.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Why does someone like think, anyone will raise their hand and tell me why they don't like it?
I have no idea how many megapixels my phone is.
Because I don't know what that means. Yeah, so I personally am not a fan of this because it's not showing me a transformation. You're telling me that there's 108 megapixels. Wait, what does that actually mean? What does that translate to? For contrast, this is a shot of an iPhone campaign. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, not this specific one, but like similar ones, right? Now, why and how is that different? Does anyone want to try explain that?
It has real value.
Okay? Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm buying an iPhone to be able to do that exact thing.
Yeah, so if you go back to it, right, like my photos look like trash. Holy shit, the new iPhone, you can take photos like that? Man, I need that new iPhone. Right? Very simple. That's it. But usually they have like shot on iPhone 6 or 7 or 11, whatever it is. So like, you'll clearly know that, by buying that phone, even though there's a lot of post-processing that goes into it, you start to believe that, this transformation is actually possible. just by getting the same.
Another issue, which is, this should be the result instead of the tool, right? You show the furniture, not the saw.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, most of you here, your pick solves the problem. And you just want to hyper stress that just be really clear about this. Now, there's no need to be Nolan at all. Who's team tenant? Now, who understood tenant? Please do not make your product discovery a tenant for people. They're gonna check out, you're not Nolan, right? So, some first principles to keep in mind as you're telling these stories and making it really clear for your user. What's the most fundamental thing people can do on Twitter? Does anyone want to tell me? We're going to use Twitter as an example, but again, can extend to any and all social media platforms. So you can tweet, but in terms of like engagement, what are you expecting your users to do?
That's the simplest thing is a like, right? So what's that?
What else? Retweet with a quote, right?
You can read.
You can read it. Perfect. Yeah.
Go to the public.
Yeah, so basically when you look at Twitter, right, you have comment, retweet, like, bookmark. Anything else? Share, for sure. Yeah, so the simplest one, right, is, would anyone even stop their scroll for this?
Actually, how many have been in my office hours today? What were the main things I kept asking you every time I forget? Remember? What was it?
Would I stop?
Yeah, I was asked, would you stop and read this? Actually, if you come to my office hour, I will literally go to your profile and I'll start asking you, would you stop and read this? No. Why did you tweet this? Would you stop and read this? No. Why did you tweet this? And so like, if you're trying to like get an information out there, really, really ask yourself why you would stop to do something.
Yeah, it's like if you're a chef, right, and you're cooking for people, you even eat your own food. Same. So yeah, Jeff, you want to know about this?
Yeah, how many of you seen this tweet? I'll do a little side comment. This tweet got 90K, and I think a few of you are kind of talked about this. You know how in S4 we keep telling you to launch and launch again? This tweet got 90K. 3 people saw it. That means we could probably ship another tweet like this, and then 3 more people saw it. So just a quick thing, but this particular tweet, it got big because when we make this tweet, and actually all the tweets that we make, we really focus on what is the interaction we expect people to do with the tweet. So we actually designed the tweet. What do you think is the interaction that we're gunning for? Yes? One more? Yes? Yeah, bookmark.
Yeah. So it got 1,000+ bookmarks. And actually, we have these like as we're creating it, we're like, okay, we expect them to bookmark live. The reason why this video came to be is because me and Jeff kept sharing all these kind of tweets with so many bookmarks. We're like, fuck it, we can ship 1 in 2 hours and let's see what happens. More space no one looks at.
And then we just hit the loop.
What about this one?
I think view details to see that comments.
Yeah, like when Sean's writing the street, is he like, my hypothesis is hella people gonna bookmark this? Probably not. And his hypothesis is like, I hope a shit ton of people comment.
Good question. What's the point in the attention to bookmark? Because I know at least I bookmark, it's sometimes hard to go back and forget. So why was that sensor versus like
Bookmarks way more on Twitter. It'll show it to more people because it kind of signals to the platform that this is so good that they bookmark it.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. The main interaction here is you just want to comment. Now, some other hacks. Jeffrey has a disclaimer here. These don't guarantee more views, but they'll give you a better chance. So let's talk about it.
Oh yeah. Can you guess what this hack is?
Probably. That's right.
Yeah, the aspect ratio, right? Actually, Stavan taught me this one time. Well, one time he was like, dude, look at these tweets, they eat up more room on people's phones. Also, I have a very shitty SE phone. My phone is tiny. Literally, this tweet would just take up the entire screen. So, you know.
It's like if you can be a real estate developer for free on social media, get more land. Right? Just keep that. That's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
You want to take up more space, right? I mean, you don't want to be, it's already like a sea of billboards. Just get the bigger billboard for free. Why not? We should have kept this one for ourselves.
Honestly. I circled out. Do you know what this hack is?
You can set where the show more is.
Yeah.
I'll just read it out for people in the back. Here are some stats we have learned over the past year. 1, 4, ...
So it's like if I can hook you immediately, I'm just like, yo, you gotta click show more, you know?
Do you have to character for that? How do you know?
I'll show you the next hack. So how many of you use Typefully? It's free. Go use it. You can compose your tweet right on Typefully. And what it did was I keep rewriting it. See, so right now Twitter does long form tweets, right? But it cuts off the tweet at 280 characters. So I go on Typefully, it will mark red after 280 characters. So I just keep rewriting it until I can get 1.4, ... And then I know, okay, that's where it'll cut off. So use Typefully, yeah.
The simple hacks that anyone can literally start using. Very important. Now, the reason why we show you is because with more real estate, that you now have an opportunity to stand out. And this is like, again, like I mentioned the billboard analogy. Any Indians in the room? Any Indians in the room that can read that out for the crowd and explain what that is?
The one
Yeah,
that
so
stands
the
out.
one in the yellow.
There are 7 ads around us, and it says that whatever is shown in the other ads, you can buy it on our website. So it's like Amazon of India.
Yeah, so what it says essentially, right, is like all of these, this is a very popular spot where there's so many billboards. And the Flipkart, an online e-commerce company in India, is like, yo, there's 7 billboards around us. Whatever you see on those billboards, you can buy it on Flipkart. That's it. You can scan, there's a small text that you just scan any billboard and it will directly take you to the product display. So that's brilliant, right? That's one way that they have figured out how to stand out in the sea of billboards. Now, if you think of your social media feed as a sea of billboards, you got to do something special to stand out. Whether it's providing more value and integrating some of the design components that we talked about, whether it's using Jeffrey's hack or just at the very least, you just get the bigger billboard by using a very large image. All right. Which leads me to how many of you are extremely clear about the problem you are solving? Can I get a raise of hands? Beautiful. Anyone else?
Misinformation deepfakes. Reducing the time it takes to find us to
Okay. So yeah, a lot of you are clear. A lot of you are fucking unclear about what problem you're solving. So let me give you a very simple mental model that will help you simplify. I just call it the time of money. So we have, imagine this scenario, right? We have gas station 1, you can get $4.93 per gallon. Right opposite it, on that intersection, is gas station 2, $5.14 a gallon. Sorry? Yeah. Same thing. Anyone else? That's cute. Okay, cool. I got you. Anyone else?
You get reward points or something like that?
Reward points. Cool. All right. Most people in this scenario would think, all right, I just want to save some money. Some people obviously want to use the same time, convenience, right? What about if on gas station 2, someone fills it for you? You literally are just sitting in your car, imagine it's Jersey or India, and they come and just fill up gas and just on your way. Now, how many of you are still going to gas station 1? Mostly 2 now. All right, so a lot more people kind of like now and say, okay, yeah, I'd rather save that time, right? Be in my car, have someone fill it up for me, and be on the phone. What if you also get a free car wash? Any takers? All right, so we got a few more. So basically, it's very simple. Try to help people either save time or help them save money, and be very clear about it. And if you can do both, incredible. A lot of times, none of you guys are doing. You're not helping them save time. Right? It actually takes longer to use your shit, and it costs a lot more. Why the hell are you expecting people to use it the whole time? Right? So just pick one, or if you can, pick both, and just go on with it. You can either help them do this directly or indirectly. I'll cover that a little bit. So, for example, example of indirect is like you not directly helping them save money, but you're helping them do other things, which they can in turn use to either save money or make money. And I use that interchangeably, like help people save time or save money, or help people make time for things. So, for example, Instagram allows you to post, which people post, and then you get a following, and the users following essentially get brand deals, which in turn is right? So that's kind of like the indirect loop. Is Art here? Alright, Art is one of the students of SF1. He helps people make AI songs faster, again, saving them time. But then you can also take these songs and you can publish them on TikTok and get a lot of views and get brand deals. We've had a lot of people use the Musicify songs. If you've heard like the Simpsons song on TikTok or AI Dre, it's probably done using Musicify. So they can use that to make money directly or directly being that a lot of people view it on TikTok. TikTok has a creator program which just pays you, or indirectly they have a link in their bio. I made this using Musicify, or it has an affiliate program which just pays you. So it's a case solving. It's a very good group.
This feels like the trade-off we talked about, time versus money. Feels like if a user knows what they want, this works. If someone doesn't know what they want and the company or whoever the builder is trying to provide them something of value, it would be something totally new, right? Is it always the case that it's time versus money?
No. Yeah. There's many other things as well. So for example, like a lot of entertainment stuff falls under like boredom or loneliness. Right? Why do people spend? Because they want to transport to some other place where they want to kind of like forget about their shit lives for a second and just kind of like get into this loop, just going to one. So time or money is one model you can have it in your back pocket. Just kind of like run your product through that.
Is there a list of these things?
There's in my head probably, but no, not a couple of comments. PRI is direct or indirect way of making. Wave is also or yes, right. So Wave is app, which is screenwriter. It's just making an AI tool that allows you to do user testing really easily, and very simply, it's really fast user tests, which saves anyone who does it a hell of a time. Very, very strong proposition. No complexity, whatever. But when we saw the demo, we're like, yo, fuck, it saves so much time. We're like willing to pay for it because it saves you so much time.
And because his value prop is so strong and so obvious what it offers, his demo, like you'll type in Weiwei on demo day /s4 demo day. It's very simple. Not a lot of editing. It just says hi, I'm Weiwei. And just in a nicer way that it says I'm gonna save you a fuck ton of time building a website, and he just goes and shows you. It's immediately obvious if you're in that niche.
Yeah. Like, we recently another example is like, let's say if you have a coding YouTube channel, now you're just making these videos to document your journey to inspire people. And this can unlock a lot of opportunities that they may have to hunt for otherwise. So like again, you're helping people save time by them watching your videos and you just dispersing all that information to them. And they then can also use that knowledge to build an app or create something else, which is helping them make money. So they're actually like doing both, whether they're doing it consciously or subconsciously. And again, most of you are selling this transformation.
Can I ask a question? How many of you are content creators or see Maeve makes music? Do you kind of feel like this doesn't really apply to you? Oh, I see 2, 3. Just quickly address it, right? Just like, this actually still applies to you because at the end of the day, what the value that you're providing people is an experience, right? And so people, if you provide a good experience, then people feel like their money and time are putting into something pretty good. So that's why, when you present your art, whatever you're working on, you should also make it somewhat obvious that this experience is going to be worth it.
When you're marketing, do you market the direct or the indirect benefits?
I think for us, in many ways, we market the indirect benefits as of right now. That's my thing. Because, for example, everything that we're providing you, right, we're saving you time, because within 6 weeks, we believe that you can learn how to launch products. We're also saving you money down the road, because you could have spent part of the talks about your experience, right? You spent an entire year or 2 building out this app. It turns out no one really liked it. Well, you could have saved a lot of time and money if if future Farza went back to past Farza and was like, yo, come to nights and weekends, then you would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah, it's both direct and indirect anyways. We're saving you a lot of time. Because a lot of the things that we teach you are like years and years and years of like walking off tops out the fucking straight. So that's the most direct one. The indirect one is like, we don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people here that go out and build really, really strong and large businesses. So it's ultimately going to help you make a lot of money. But that's indirect if they don't see any benefit of that other than, yo, I remember way, you started walking in, I saw his demo, but look at it now. It's running massive. We're anticipating a lot of those things to happen. But I just want to quickly end this on, keep your eyes open. I didn't cover that much, but inspiration is all around you in every single domain. Rather than setting specific time that, okay, when I'm doing X, I'm going to go and seek inspiration at that time, because I try to index it as much of it as possible in the moment. And yeah, always keep your eyes open. Inspiration is all around you. Please identify your openings. And yeah, just don't forget to make and get as many shots as you can. Because it's okay if you miss, because you can always keep trying and make sure. Yes. Yeah, all of you, good luck.